Hi everyone, welcome back to Ria's collection. Today I will be making some shrimp and vegetable spring rolls. These are a very easy and pretty filling snack that you can make for your family or even for your parties. I'm sure you're going to like it. So let's get straight into the recipe. For making these rolls, you will need some shrimp, and I have used a 75 to 90 count shrimp, and I've cut them up into tiny pieces. You will also need a few spring roll pastry. I really like this brand, and it comes in a package of 25 sheets. You also need some spring onions, a little bit of cabbage, some green beans, carrots, onions, salt, black pepper, Shaoxing wine, dark soy sauce, and some light soy sauce. We also need some ginger and garlic, which I will be showing you in a while. Now let's heat up a pan, add some oil. You don't need a lot, about 1 to 2 tablespoons. So this is how much of ginger and garlic you need. A pretty good chunk of ginger and a few cloves of garlic. So once it's crushed, it's about 2 tablespoons. So now that the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add in the crushed up ginger and garlic paste. You could also use store-bought. I prefer to make it at home. Now saute it well. It takes about like 30-35 seconds for it to smell really fragrant. And that's when you know you can add in the next ingredients. Now I'm going to add in the onions next. I am not looking for the onions to be soft, so maybe give it like a 45-second stir. And I always like to sprinkle a tiny bit of salt just to make the process go faster, because salt draws out the moisture and makes the onion sweat. So the whole process goes really quickly. And I'm doing this on a high heat. You're not looking for the vegetables to cook down to a very soft consistency, okay? So now let's add in the carrots, the green beans, and all of that cabbage. It might look like a lot, but it's not that much actually. I will be providing the correct amounts of the ingredients in the description box below. And now that it's all gone in, let's mix it up and make sure the oil is coating the vegetables. If you feel you need to add some more oil, please go ahead and add them, because I like to start with a less amount of oil and then increase it if needed. So what I'm looking for right now is, since I used a lesser amount of oil, I don't want anything to stick at the bottom of the pan, so I'm just scraping it all out. And the moisture from the vegetables will help release the fond as well. Now I'm going to add in the chopped up shrimp. Just give it a quick stir and let it cook along with the vegetables. And always remember that shrimp gets cooked very quickly, and you do not want it to get overcooked, because the texture can go from really juicy shrimp to a rubbery texture. So keep an eye for the color. As you can see, I think you can see it. It's gone from that opaque to a nice pinkish orange color, which means the shrimp is almost getting done. So at this stage, I like to add the sauces. So I'm going to add in the light soy sauce first. So the amount of sauces can be, adjusted as per your preference. I've also added the dark soy sauce now. And the last would be the Shaoxing wine. So the wine is something that you can choose not to add if you don't want to add wine into your cooking. But I always feel it's a nice addition because it takes away all the unwanted taste and gives a nice flavor to the dish. So let it cook out and let the vegetables absorb all of that flavor. You might see some liquid pooling at the bottom of your pan. Let it dry out. Add pepper to your taste. You can use black pepper or you could use white pepper if that's what you have on hand, or you can just skip it. You could also use chili flakes if you want a more stronger bite for your spring rolls. Make sure you keep mixing it up well so that nothing gets stuck at the bottom of the pan. And just make sure your shrimp is just done and not overcooked. I tasted and I felt that I needed a little bit more of dark soy, so I added a tiny bit more. And I'm turning off the heat now, and I'm going to let it come down to almost room temperature. And then I like to add in the spring onions, as you can see now, and then just mix it up, and it gets cooked in that little bit of remaining heat. I'm just checking to see if it's fully cooked, and yes, it is completely cooked and cooled. So what you're going to see next is I am making a flour paste. This is just 1 tablespoon measure of all-purpose flour and about 4 to 5 tablespoons of that size. Not the regular measuring spoon. This is a eating tablespoon. So just mix it up well. You want a nice smooth paste, almost lump-free. And this is what we're going to use as a glue to stick the spring rolls together. So in case it gets thicker as it sits, add some water to thin it out. And if it's too thin, add a tiny bit of flour to bring it back together. It's very forgiving. So I've taken the sheets out, and as you can see, this is not like a Ziploc bag that you can, re-zip and keep it enclosed. So I like to put them in between some towels just so that it doesn't dry out. So I usually like to take a couple or 3 sheets at a time. So I think I'll just maybe use 2 at a time now. So the first few ones will be a little, delicate to pull out. The sides might be dried out from the freezer burn, but then you know what? You're going to roll it and nothing will be seen. And once fried, they're all going to turn out just perfect. So let me get out a few more. It's pretty pliable. You just have to gently, pull it out. It's not going to rip apart. Try to get the same brand if that's available, because I know this one works really well. I'm just trying to get the second one too. And there you go. I think I'll just cover it and keep it aside. So let me show you how to fill 2 of those. It's very, very easy. Put the corners towards you. Take about a tablespoon worth of the filling mixture. And I'm using the eating tablespoon, not the measuring one, which is a little more larger in quantity. And then fold it like so. And just pull the filling towards you. Like make it a nice, long, slender roll. And then come from both sides. And as you're rolling it, just gently pull it towards you and then roll it. That way the roll rolls out to be a nice tight roll and not loose. You want it to be a nice, well-shaped roll. So as you're rolling it, pull it towards you a tiny bit and then roll away from you. I hope that was clear. Anyway, this is how it should look like once rolled. So I'm just going to repeat it again. There were 25 sheets in that package. I'm hoping to fill all the 25 with this filling. Let's see. So I'm just going to repeat the same process with the remainder of the 23 sheets. And yeah, it's a very fun process. I'm just doing it really slow so that you can see how it's supposed to be done. I'm sure most of you know how to do it, but in case there's somebody who doesn't know how to, this is how you make spring rolls. Yeah. So I'm going to continue with the remaining, and I feel the batter is getting slightly thicker than what I require it to be. So I'm just going to add a splash of water and mix that along really well to bring it back to the consistency that I want, which is like a slightly loose dropping consistency. Yeah, and I dropped one sheet, so this ended up being 24, and that's okay. I managed to use all of the filling, nothing went waste. So this amount of filling is perfect for 25 rolls. So I am going to show you how I like to store it for immediate use, which is like about a week in the fridge. Just put it in a regular container, airtight container, and stack it up. It's not going to stick. You can just stack them one on top of each other and then cover it with the lid and put it in the fridge. You can pull it out as and when you need it and fry it and enjoy them straight away. My kids love these as an after school snack, and I also like to serve these as an appetizer for parties and such. So if you have them on hand, it's very convenient. And also, if you like to freeze these, let me show you how. So imagine this red lid to be your baking sheet. So just line it with the parchment paper and place each roll like so without touching each other, and with some space in between, and put that in the freezer. And once it's firm and solid, pull it out and just put it in a container. It's not going to stick once it's frozen, okay? So this is really good for you to prep ahead of time. It makes life easier. You just need the time to actually slice the vegetables. The cooking is pretty much done in no time. So now it's time to fry the spring onions. I am a geek when it comes to frying, and I like to have a thermometer, and 350 is the temperature I like to fry my stuff, 350 Fahrenheit. So I am not going to crowd the pan. I'm going to add in maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 3 at a time. My pan isn't that big. I could have added more, but I feel it's going to drop the oil temperature. So might as well just do 3 at a time. If your pan is large and wide, you could add more. I also like to drain the fried items always onto a tissue paper just to absorb the excess oil. I've noticed that this pastry doesn't really soak up a lot of oil, but it's good to drain some excess in case you have them. So I don't know if you can see the color because of the light. It's perfectly golden, and you will see that it's turned out to be pretty crisp when you scrape it using your slotted spoon in the oil. So that's what you want. You don't want it to get to a darker brown, okay? You want it to be a golden brown. So I'm continuing to fry some more, and I think I'll just fry 6 for today for the kids, and I'll put the remainder in the fridge for later use. So just move it along just to make sure that it doesn't stick and tear and then break apart. So the next 3 is also done, and I am going to take them out of the oil. And look at those delicious spring rolls. I can't wait to eat them. So here they are, my shrimp and vegetable spring rolls. You can serve them with some ketchup or some sweet Thai chili sauce, or both on the side. We really prefer to eat it with the sweet Thai chili sauce because we feel ketchup is a little too strong for these delicate flavors. So I hope you enjoy.